The past couple years I've been pretty much the same weight, around 84 kilograms. Last weekend I went to my parents' house and I saw a scale and I weighed myself and it was 78.5. I've lost over 5 kilos in the last half year. And the only explanation I can come up with is my diet. I'm not vegan, I'm not even vegetarian, but I have been eating more and more plant-based. Tomorrow I'm going to calculate everything I eat and see whether I get enough calories, but also what the emissions are of those calories. So welcome to the second episode of Fork Ranger. My favorite meal of the day when I get out of bed. I'm already hungry, looking forward to breakfast. Oats with muesli. That is 154 grams. Actually, I need to write that down somewhere. Half an apple. I'm gonna add some protein powder. Because I'm not using yogurt and I'm doing a lot of sports at the moment. Let's see. It says summer food and it's winter, so it's a bit wrong. I buy this out of the frozen section because if you buy these fresh, they're really expensive and they get squished and all that. So I think this is a good way, but we'll see what the emissions of this are. Wow, 147. Okay, that's it. Oh no, wait, actually, because I've been losing weight, I thought maybe I should add some fat to this. My favorite ingredient in the world, peanut butter. Of 100% peanut butter. Okay, now the last step is boiling the water. Is that it thaws the fruit, so I don't have to wait until the fruit is defrozen. It's very sufficient. And of course it's much cheaper. Okay, this breakfast has a total of 855 calories and 32 grams of protein. This is not the same breakfast I've been losing weight with, but I really like the addition of peanut butter. The total emissions are 334 grams of CO2. The fruits are the most, but are also used a lot. But let's compare this to reducing the other ingredients a little and adding 175 milliliters of yogurt. That brings us to a total of 449 grams of CO2. Time to put on clothes and fix my hair. Okay, so time to make lunch because I don't have enough money to buy lunch every day, and I'm a happy Dutch person who likes to eat bread for lunch. A tomato, bread, hummus, and rocket. So 2 nice sandwiches with hummus, tomato, and rocket, and now more peanut butter. Let's be real, this is a lot of bread, and I actually use the peanut butter more as afternoon snack instead of lunch. But the bread is the real winner here. It has 5 grams of protein per slice and low emissions. These 3 sandwiches have 1008 calories and 44 grams of protein. The total emissions, 539 grams of CO2. Interesting is how much a tomato adds to this. Time for lunch, and the interesting thing about this box is that I've had this for about 12 years and it's been my companion ever since, and even in high school it gave me the title of hungriest student, so I owe a lot to this box. If I substitute the hummus, tomato and rocket for margarine and cheese, it adds 225 grams of CO2. With butter it would be even more. Now to one of my favorite parts of the day and the impact I'm most scared about. Coffee. I was right to be scared. 2 cups of coffee, 342 grams of CO2. Tea is a lot better. If I would drink 3 cups a day and make 2 of those a cappuccino with cow milk, it would add a stunning 400 grams of CO2. More than my entire breakfast. For dinner I'm making aubergine tomato curry and I sneaked in a bell pepper, but that's not part of the recipe, so I didn't count the emissions. Aubergine, canned tomatoes, coconut milk, chickpeas and rice. What surprised me most is that this meal has half the protein of my sandwiches, but the total emissions are 900 grams, as much as my breakfast and lunch combined. That's mostly because rice production causes methane, aubergines don't grow during winter, and again those tomatoes. I should add that I'm not very confident about this tomato number because there's huge variation. My guess is that the actual emissions of these tomatoes are lower because canned tomatoes are not grown in a greenhouse. For comparison, I've substituted the coconut milk with cream, which has 4 times the emissions. And instead of chickpeas, here's a scenario with chicken, pork and beef. I'm sorry, but I have to ruin one more thing. No, not the tea, it's chocolate. These 7 grams of chocolate have 119 grams of CO2. That's the same as my breakfast berries, which, remember, was the biggest part of my breakfast. If I were to eat like this every day, 1 year would come to 816 kilograms of CO2. Using the other scenarios, eating 3 times as much chocolate, adding 1 glass of orange juice and taking an average with the chicken, pork and beef, I get 2020 kilograms of CO2. Sounds about right, because the European average is 2.2 tons. I've chosen to focus on food because I think it's positive, we do it every day, and it definitely is a huge impact, but it doesn't mean that it balances out all the other impacts of your life. So let's put that into perspective. 2 tons is the same as a round trip from Amsterdam to Dubai. Let's compare that to recycling, using LED light bulbs, using a reusable shopping bag, and then doing things that make a bit more difference, like eat local food only, reduce your food waste, go vegetarian and live without a car. At this point you might be questioning your life and showing symptoms of climate depression. I feel with these kind of things, the most important thing is that you don't become paralyzed, and to realize that the most important thing is to just take action and go forward. Then you're doing something, and that's progress. And sometimes giving yourself a limitation, like enjoying cheese and chocolate as a delicacy, actually it can be kind of fun, in the same way that running in the rain can be kind of fun when you accept that and you see it as a fun challenge. All of this is pretty complex, and it was a fun exercise to do this and calculate it for myself, but here's the thing. You don't need to calculate this in order to make a difference. All you need to do is focus on one thing. Reduce the amount of animal-based foods for plant-based. That's really, and you don't have to do it all the time, but generally that's a good rule of thumb. Just make the recipes from the book and you're making a massive difference already. And for me, this moderation thing, it has helped me to enjoy it more. Whenever I eat cheese now, it really becomes this special treat. And I really enjoy it, and of course I buy better cheese as well. We're all living in this life where we're chasing memories and special moments, but there are special moments every single day when you're eating your food, because I'm happy that I don't have to eat potatoes every single day like my great-great-grandpa. So if you want to know more and want to study this spreadsheet, send me an email and I will share it with you. If you're hungry, the recipe that I cooked is in the description below. And if you've liked this video, you could organize a sustainable dinner or start a debate with your meat-loving uncle. Or you could just subscribe to this channel, and that means that I will see you next time in 2 weeks for the next episode of Fork Ranger.